Hey guys, how's it going? It's the director. In this video, I grabbed my buddies Grimey, Silent, and Scarecrow to come help me make an advanced guide on the Darwin project. 2 are in the top 10 and 1 is ranked 12 as of this moment. If you're still trying to learn how to play the game, my previous video may be for you, and I will link that along with these players' Twitch or Twitter in the description below. This guide will be going over what builds they run, how to prioritize what gear to craft and when, along with trap placement and advanced fighting strategies. Before I get into any other topics of this video, I'm going to be going over builds and why pro players feel these builds are the best to use. I'm going to be covering a lot of information very quickly, so feel free to comment if you have any questions down below. This first build is Scarecrow's build and pretty meta at the moment. He runs Lumberjack because if you have no kills, you can still farm up materials to match someone late game who may have more kills and had the opportunity to loot those bodies. It lets you farm extremely fast even if you are chasing someone or being chased, and it also allows you to craft quickly while on the move. The only other viable axe is the axe sharpener, which needs a lot of materials to be worth it, and to really matter, it's best paired with the fire arrows. Axe sharpener needs to be leveled twice to land a hit for 200. Players have 600 health, so without armor, that is a triple tap. Along with fire arrows, which hit for 200, if your axe is level 3 and hitting for 225, you can hit an opponent without armor for 450 with 2 axe swings and finish them with any kind of arrow. But axe sharpener is the most viable at either level 2 or 5. Runner's Cloak is the next piece of equipment which is important for juking and managing stamina. Late game, this is important. Being able to move quickly for long periods of time can be a game changer, and the Stamina Cloak really does help with this. Next, Speed Boots. These are amazing for closing gaps with its flat rate of speed and allows for boxing out people during axe fights. Most of the time in game you're not fighting, so having that flat speed to traverse the map faster is important and works really well with the Lumberjack. Moving on to electronics, teleport is the most useful electronic to get right now. It's important to get this so you have the TELEAXE on hand. It's basically a free hit on your opponent, and if you do not know how to TELEAXE, it will be covered later in the video. You can use it defensively to retreat from engagement or offensively to TELEAXE someone or to change your positioning. Next is Power Leap. This can be used to get more distance than the teleport and is useful comboed with Boom Shrooms. A pro move would be Power Leaping to get a good view of the map around you if you know someone's close, and then TELEAXing onto your opponent. Lastly, Energy Shield is a great electronic to take. It's amazing for final zones because whoever gets to the center of the final zone first usually likes to place traps everywhere if they have them. Energy Shield allows you to push through and break any traps with no danger to yourself. Also, if you're fighting out in the open, you have the upper hand because you cannot be damaged. Moving on to your utilities. Bear traps are an amazing trap. This is a great utility because of how small it is and how well you can hide it in tall grass or behind trees. It provides a free armor knockoff or 100 damage, and you get a free headshot out of it if you're close. When you pull back the bow, people will swing to deflect your arrow, so you just wait until they swing, then take your shot. The other utility Scarecrow uses is the glider. This is pretty much a given. It provides mobility offensively or defensively. Smoke bombs are an underused but great utility. If you run hunt arrows, you can shoot them and then use smoke bombs so you still have vision of them while they have none on you. They could be forced to use an electronic to escape or run around blindly while you continue to hammer them with arrows. And what people don't realize is that you can use this to cancel out Blood Moon entirely or cancel any tracking. Scarecrow uses hunter arrows to always have vision, to see if they're crafting, running, or placing a trap. Information in this game is power, and it shows their health and cold meter also to help you plan your attack. Basic arrows are also heavily used by top 100 players as well to have those 5 arrows at the start. Berserker arrows are great to have stamina but not highly used, and fire arrows are most viable with the axe sharpener. It really comes down to your own playstyle. Silent runs a very similar build, but his utility will consist of tripwire, smoke bomb, and glider. He uses the tripwire instead of the bear trap for the sufficiently longer track, and he likes to combo it with smoke bomb. He also runs the revenge cloak because when it's leveled out, the track lasts a lot longer on his opponent just from them hitting him once, and it forces people to play a lot differently than they normally would. That covers the builds that these guys run. So next, what to prioritize when leveling up. Being decent at the game myself, I've always wondered what I should be leveling up to be the most effective and have the most positive impact on my gameplay. Grimey levels up his gear depending on the beginning stages of the game. For example, if he wants to play aggro or not. If he spawns Ewok, which is the top right zone with all the towers, that is always a zone that has another person in it. If he's going to fight, he doesn't bother leveling anything up and takes the fight first. Once he finishes the fight, then that's when he decides what his loadout's going to be. If there is still 8 or 9 people, he focuses on Lumberjack and farming after his fight's over. But if everyone went for first bloods and there's 6 or 7 people left, he prioritizes his boots and goes looking for kills. He feels if you put too much into Lumberjack, you could be at a disadvantage if there's 6 or fewer people left and you didn't even level your boots to help with juking in a fight. If you're in a zone that has a lot of cover, you can risk leveling your Lumberjack, but if you are in a zone with a lot of open space, your boots become more important. Silent prioritizes his Lumberjack getting max no matter where he spawns, except if he gets a middle spawn. For Scarecrow, he runs Hunter Arrows, so it's a little bit different. He has 3 ranges. If someone's really close, he prioritizes arrows early game, like getting 3 or 4 arrows along with at least 1 level of boots. If they are medium range, he likes to get 2 Lumberjack and level 2 boots before he engages them. If he gets a spawn where he is really far away from everyone, he gets max Lumberjack and max boots because he is all alone and completely able to loot. He usually doesn't even craft arrows because he knows he can safely do that. Here are some extra tips about builds and prioritizing. The Hunter build is still viable in the game with Hunter Arrows, Boots, and Detective Cloak, because you get the longest tracking and top speed in the game when tracking. Also, a lot of people don't bother with their cloaks. Cloaks are viable for managing stamina, so after you have max boots or you're close to max, putting a point or 2 in your cloak is important while also saving enough mats to have extra armor or 2. Early game armor is not important, it's mid to late game where you should have armor equipped. Also, be aware of your surroundings and try to loot towards cabins to always know your enemy's positioning. When you are leveling electronics, teleport is the first electronic to get no matter what with the game in its current state. The only time you want to prioritize power leap is if there's a second electronic near. You can get more distance with the power leap and can get there quicker. Silent prioritizes turret only if he is low HP for deer kills, which restore 50 HP a deer. He runs the turret in his kit because he generally has learned good placement and can get armor broken off an opponent before they react in time. In the last top Hunter tournament, I actually saw him get 2 kills with it. He believes that it's great for juggling in a fight. If you're low HP within the vicinity of the turret, it also insta-kills deer for health. Also, it takes opponents out of gliders. For this next half of the video, I'll be breaking down a professional fight and explaining why they did what they did, along with strategies and trap placement. First is parrying and what you should do when that happens. You're going to do 1 of 2 things when a parry takes place. Either shoot an arrow after the parry to get a quick shot on your opponent, or anticipate the shot and parry like you see here. In this next part of the video, I'll be covering a pro fight and why they did what they did move by move. So what just happened is Silent lost view on Scarecrow and he used that opportunity to quickly place a bear trap. Silent then uses his glider to change positioning to get a better angle onto Scarecrow. So a lot just happened. First, Silent saw and took out Scarecrow's bear trap. Then Silent attempted to TELEAXE Scarecrow, but ended up running into a tree. Both immediately swing, anticipating each other's movements, and parry. And just like we went over previously, Silent shoots an arrow, which is anticipated and then deflected by Scarecrow. Scarecrow ends up returning fire, and since he has the Hunter Arrows, Silent does a really good move here by busting out that smoke bomb to not give him vision. And getting pushed back, he gets the track onto Scarecrow, which is really smart too to return. Now I'm going to let Scarecrow explain in great detail how to juke and best fight in close quarter.
So hold your bow out at me, Silent. So like people like to deflect and then like they're very predictable right after you or they swing their axe and stuff. I would honestly recommend that people like stop trying to do that and do more of like arrow jukes. The only time I see it viable to do an actual deflect is if you really know they're about to shoot, like if you do the parry thing, or if you're about to go behind cover. So if he has his bow out at me and I'm like just about to go in cover, I'm safe from any damage as long as I deflect in that window right there. Yeah, but other than that, if you're out in the open and you do that, you open up a lot.
Is there a certain way, Scarecrow? Can you go ahead and show me your jukes? Like, how do you like to juke? Is there a certain kind of combination of juking that you like to do?
So I like to, I hold my bow out as long as they are fine. If I miss a shot and they pull their bow out right away, I'm at a disadvantage. So I'm always going to be juking. Like, I'll try to fake my bow. What I'll do usually is I'll fake really quick ones. And then, like, I'll try to fake them out with a really long pull-out, like they know I'm going to try to shoot them. So I'll do, like, a 1, 2, and then I'll shoot a long one, but actually juke it out. That's when they'll usually shoot. Then once they shoot, I have the advantage again. I pull out my bow. Okay, for this next part of the video, I'm going to let Grimey go ahead and take the wheel and explain how to TELEAXE.
Alright, so there's 2 ways to TELEAXE. You could either do normal swing like this and do it, but your angle as far as hitting them would be a lot easier to jump and do it that way. So you can aim straight down at the ground through him.
To properly TELEAXE, you need to either swing, then immediately teleport as you're swinging, or do a jump and downward swing as you're TELEAXing. It takes a little bit of practice, so don't worry if you don't get it the first time. This last part of the video, Grimey's going to explain trap placement.
there's main areas where people run, especially
Yeah.
in this area around this. If an electronic pops here, I almost always pop one at the front right here, because people just run in and try to hit the electronics so you can't get it. Another good spot is either right here in the corner in the deep snow, or right here, because people love to use this angle to shoot at the electronic. Upon that, when you're fighting inside, one right here is really good because you can't see it. And then when you're fighting outside, especially for Final Zone in this area, a very common spot is at the top of these stairs when people walk up. But what I found is that trap is very easy to spot. So I went ahead and started putting one at the bottom of the stairs, because not only, hold on, let me replace it. Oh, well, not only does it partially get put into the stairs, so it's less visible, but at the bottom of the stairs, people don't expect it. People expect it at the top of the stairs because it's always been a common spot. Another common walking area is through this corner, especially if there's a chest here for the clue. And that's a very good spot. But most people expect traps around the clues, especially in Final Zone, so they'll always look for that.
So you're telling like the area, like let's say you were fighting though, how would you be placing it to fight these guys? Let's say you were fighting right here. Like, and you didn't have any traps set up. Let's say you're fighting Silent right now. What would you do?
If I was fighting Silent right here, and we're fighting right here, first I want to make sure I'm out of sight of him. I want to make sure he doesn't see me place a trap. So I would go right here and try to make him move to either there to, I guess, chase me, so I can further run around this corner and place one at this corner right here. Or if he runs the other direction and runs through the house, I can then run back this way and place this one, or go this way.
So it's just trying to put it on predictable paths of like if he's pursuing you, this is where you would place it like out of sight. I see a lot of people like do it like I think it's pretty standard, like tripwire through the corner of the cabin. Usually people have a trap right in outside the door or right inside the door of the cabin.
Yep.
Right side windows.
Usually the front door is my main one. I don't like to put it in windows very much because me personally, I haven't been lucky at getting people jumping through windows. So the one at the front of the door is very common. A lot of people check for it, but what I'll do is I'll place that one as a bait. And then make sure I place some around corners of the houses, especially around cabins, because they don't always check for the corners, and people always run around houses. And I don't know why they don't check, but a lot of people hug corners, and they can't really see that bear trap coming around the corner very easily. So unless they're actually looking for it.
Okay. Any other main like combat things that are important that you guys know of right now?
There's so one thing I like to do sometimes is, even if they know I place, like, let's say a bear trap down like right where I'm standing, if they know it's there, they're still gonna have to deal with it if they peek around. So I want to try to get into a position like maybe over in this corner, where like if they come around, they might be trying to deal with that, so they'll have to swing at it, so I can pop up and hit them once they're done with their swing. So use it kind of as a bait. I know they're gonna destroy it, but have my positioning so I have the upper hand to hit them right after.
Another good strategy is fake trap placements. So say if me and Scarecrow are fighting, or Silent are fighting, and they both see me right here, and you know we're both dodging, juking, whatever, and I go, but then I pull off of it. They might, if I hold on to it long enough, they might think that I placed a trap there. Or if they see the side of my body right here, and I know that they see me, I can hold it long enough, and then, oh, I did it too long. I can hold it long enough to where they think I do it, and then I can back up, and then they have to deal with it. And from that point, if they're hard aiming it, I can either do the newbie jump out and shoot them, or I can flank around the other side and hopefully get them before they can see that trap.
Okay, when is jumping viable in a fight as well?
Almost never.
Almost never. There's very few occasions. I would say if you have somebody one shot and you're chasing them, and all they're doing is running, and you see that they're running around the corner, you know that they're not going to have an arrow cocked and ready to be fired, then I would say it's viable to jump around that corner, because you're not going to get punished for it. But also, a lot of skilled players, what they'll do is they'll do fake crafting. So they'll sit behind a tree and they'll start to fake craft whatever sounds like an armor. So whoever's on the other side of that tree is going to want to jump around that tree to get to them as fast as possible. So you have to make sure that you don't fall for that trick, I guess, because then they can easily punish that.
Guys, I hope this in-depth look into how the top players play helped you out. If you want me to make more content like this, please give this video a like and give me a subscribe for more videos like this one.